Hello lovely peeps. This live, coming on to what we're actually talking about, is for newbies, whether you're in phase 1, 2 or 3, but also if you haven't actually jumped off the fence and if you haven't leapt into a human being diet and you're curious about what's to come and you're gathering data and thinking, is this something I really want to involve myself with or not? And I hope you'll find that the answer is a resounding yes. The main thing, and I didn't say this before in either of the two previous lives, is to commit. Don't be half in, half out. So really get prepared. Revisit your whys, what you want to achieve. So see pages 117 to 124 to remind yourself about that. And keep reading the book, and success is yours. It really, really is. And I love this quote from John Wayne, because starting anything new can be scary. It's not just HBD, but almost anything we can think of. And this is John Wayne's quote. He said, "Courage is being scared to death and saddling up anyway." So yes, let's saddle up and get going, whether it's scary or not. Also wanted to say that we get loads of can I have type questions, e.g. can I have MCT, bean sprouts, kefir, aquafaba, milk, chia seeds. And if you're deviating from the list in the Human Being Diet 2nd edition, even if it doesn't feel very serious, you're not doing HBD and you won't get the results that you deserve. So if something isn't on the list, it's not because we've forgotten it or it's been overlooked. It's because it's not HBD. It's not what we're after with HBD, which is not only about weight loss, but also about healing up our guts. The gut meaning the intestines, the small intestine, the large intestine, making our gut less leaky, and also getting control back over our blood sugar, reducing insulin levels and reducing inflammation. So that's what it's all about. And that's why the foods on HBD have been chosen to support those parts of HBD. So that's why it's not an exhaustive, yes, list of every food on the planet. Because lots of foods that we commonly eat, did commonly eat, like bread and buns and loads of chocolate, may taste quite nice, but they're not going to take us anywhere near where we want to go with our goals. So that's really important. So that's the what can I have questions, or can I have this, that or the other. So reacquaint yourself with the food lists. There are different food lists for each phase in the programme, phase 1, 2 and 3. Of course there aren't for phase 4, because phase 4 is personal. It's what we discover suits us as individuals, not what might suit a lot of other people. I also wanted to say, keep your own counsel. Do the legwork. Buddy up. Keep reading the book. And don't blindly copy what others are doing. Because remember, HBD is discovering what suits you personally. It's not about what suits some other people, or even most other people. It's about what suits us. And just to give you an illustration of that, when I was studying at ION for my nutrition training, we were taught to eat lots of whole grains, to start the day with oats. That was supposed to be a really good breakfast. And when I started my training, I was quite svelte and I felt pretty well. But I was a good student. I was a diligent and dedicated student, obedient. And so I followed the advice and I started having oats for breakfast with nuts and seeds and things like that, only to find myself feeling very tired and very sluggish. Not only that, but putting on weight. And oats do suit some people, but there are an awful lot of other people who they don't suit. And you won't find them on HBD, or not until phase 4 anyway. So that's what that's really important, to keep your own counsel, to buddy up with like-minded friends and not to follow blindly what other people are doing on Instagram, because they might be making mistakes, unwittingly obviously, but they might be making mistakes. So make it your own and make it your business to find out exactly how and why HBD works. That's really, really key. So you might have been asking yourself questions like this before you started HBD. Have I got the willpower? It's going to be so hard. I don't know if I can do it. Or can I succeed? Have I screwed up my metabolism with so many low-calorie diets in the past? Will HBD work for me? Or will I be the only person who can't succeed? I've tried everything else. Nothing's worked. or it might have worked for a little bit, but then it didn't continue to work. These questions are completely normal. And yes, it's hard when you start, like anything new, like John Wayne was talking about. And have you got the willpower? Yes, you have. And you haven't screwed up your metabolism. The body is a self-healing organism, and it doesn't matter what we've done in the past. Its default is to healing, including healing from low-calorie or fatty diets in the past. And yes, it will work for you. Prepare to feel fabulous. That's really, really important. So phase 2, come day 7, 8, 9 or 10, these days can feel particularly hard and you might feel like giving in. And what I would say to that is there are going to be days that are hard. Revisit your whys, why you started this, what was the inspirational dissatisfaction that drew you to HBD. And I hope that you've distilled all those reasons into a small amount of text that you can read on your phone. And it's a good thing to read it every morning. And especially if you're having a hard day, to remind yourself what you wanted to change, why you wanted to start HBD. At the end of phase 2, you'll be feeling jubilant. I did it. It's incredible. I never thought that I could, but I did it. I've overcome the sugar monster. I never thought that I could do 16 days without sugar, but I have. And be really proud of yourself. It's something to really celebrate. But then you might also be thinking, I want to stay here feeling this great forever. Phase 3 is scary. I don't want to start it. But remember that phase 1 and 2, the reset, the first 16 days, are low calorie. They're like an induction period and an introduction to HBD. And you don't want to stay there. This is not for life. Moving into phase 3 at the end of phase 2 is a rule. It's one of the rules of success for following HBD. So dig deep in the second week of phase 2 if you're having a really hard time, and remind yourself that you can do it, and so many people have been there before. Keep your whys at the forefront of your mind and get ready for phase 3 and the comfort really of phase 3 when extra virgin olive oil is introduced along with a weekly treat meal. It doesn't sound like much before you start HBD, but it really, really is, I promise, and something to celebrate. So you're feeling amazing at the end of phase 2, and so you should be. But as I was saying, if you don't move into phase 3, you're not following the rules for success. So keep reading the book, keep checking in the glossary for any questions that you might have about can I have this or can I have that, or why the rules are so important. Really, really, really key. And in phase 3, on day 17, be proud. Be really, really proud. It's an amazing achievement. It's something to really celebrate for so many reasons. In phase 3, you might be thinking, I'm really glad I got through the 16-day reset, but now I don't feel like a treat meal because it feels really scary. I've been so good, and now I'm going to say, yeah, you can have dessert, or you can have potatoes, or you can have whatever it is you're dreaming or thinking about. And you might have the treat meal and then wake up the next day feeling terrible and think, well, I'm scared to have more treat meals. So we'll start with the reason for the treat meal. The treat meal is important because not only is pleasure important for us, but also a little bit of poison potentially perks us up, and particularly perks up our immune system. And it's a key part of the program. If you keep up what you've been doing in phases 1 and 2 too long, low calorie, the metabolic rate adapts to stop us from starving to death. And we stop losing weight, we stop burning calories, everything grinds to a halt. You might also be thinking in phase 3, you might be a few weeks in, this is going on for so long. How can I keep myself going? I've been following HBD for 12 weeks and I've still got more to go, further to go. Just take it one day at a time, 1 week at a time, probably even better. And as I was saying, keep the whys at the forefront of your mind and know that you can get there. People have lost, 4, 5, 6 stone on HBD, and that's because they have been consistent and they've been sticking at it. And you can too. Some days feel hard, but really the end result is absolutely worth it. So phase 3, if you feel terrible after your treat meals, it means that you're having foods that don't suit you personally, that don't suit your body, that don't suit your metabolism. And the most common culprits are wheat and dairy. So next treat meal, skip the wheat, skip the dairy, skip the sugar as well, and really focus on high quality fats. including butter, hollandaise, mayonnaise, béarnaise, all those super rich sauces, because you want to give your body a bit of a shock with loads of extra calories, not with loads of extra sugar or carbs. I'm not saying don't have the carbs, but that is a common reason for feeling rough the next day or even 2 days after the treat meal. And the other thing that happens if you're having too many carbohydrates is you're likely to retain water. So if it takes you days and days to lose the treat meal weight, it's because you're having too many carbs. So really cut down on the carbs and focus on the fats. Get to the end of 12 weeks. So you've been on phase 3 for 10 weeks. And remember, if you need to stay in phase 3 for longer than that, if you still haven't reached your goals, just stay in phase 3 until you get there, until you're really happy in your skin. But if you have, you've got to the end of the 12th week and you're feeling really, really happy in your skin and you're thinking to yourself, I don't want to move to phase 4. This is really suiting me. I want to stay here. Remember also that that is another rule about moving into phase 4. And phase 4 we'll talk about not next week because I'm not here, but the week after. So don't worry about phase 4 now because this is really for newbies. And if you're a newbie in phase 1, 2 or 3, you're not a newbie if you're in phase 4. So revisit treat meals if you're in phase 3, pages 162 to 166 in the book, the second edition that is. And take it week by week, focusing on small wins, NSVs, non-scale victories, taking it step by step. It's for the long haul. It's not something you're going to do for a few weeks and then revert to your old ways. It's something you're going to build on and take with you into your life as a new lifestyle, which is very, very exciting. There's no going back. When I say there's no going back, of course, we relax the rules when we're on holiday. We might have put on a few pounds by the time we get back, but that's okay. We just get back into phase 3 when we get back. We can't go on holiday in phase 2, it's too complicated, but phase 3 is fine. So talking about safety and about the scary aspects of HBD, because it's new, I think probably the only non-scary aspect is moving from phase 1, which as you know is 2 days of only vegetables, into phase 2, which always comes as a welcome relief. But another favourite quote of mine, a harbour is the safest place for a ship, but that's not what it's built for. So put up your sails and prepare yourself for an amazing ride and a dreamy destination. It's really, really exciting. But I can see there are some questions in the special question box, so we'll go to those now. Sparkly Sam, I'm into phase 2 at the moment and wondering about the Epsom salts. I've heard this can be taken weekly. Is that sensible? No, I wouldn't take them weekly, and there's absolutely no need. I know that some people do, but it's not recommended. So just on the first day, or if necessary on the first 2 days, phase 1, that's it. You don't need to take them more often than that. I hope that helps. Sparkly Sam, and well done for getting into phase 2 and leaping in. That's great. Lucy Westbank's HBD, does oat milk count also to weight gain like ours? Like oats, sorry. I know oat milk isn't allowed. I just wondered, as I used to drink 2 oat lattes a day. Yeah, I mean, oats can be allergenic. You know, different strokes for different folks, Lucy. And remember that when you're having your oat milk lattes, you're very possibly having them in between meals, which meant that they were essentially mini meals. That's why there's nothing except water on HBD, because water is the only thing that doesn't affect our blood sugar and doesn't affect our insulin levels. And when we eat, insulin blood sugar should go up, and then they gradually come down, and they're at their lowest levels. And when insulin is low, glucagon, our fat-burning hormone, is there to help us burn fat. But it's not going to be working if we're having oat lattes between meals. And I'm glad you know that oat milk isn't allowed, Lucy. Well done. Good enough, Hannah. I'm currently 3 weeks into phase 3. Well done you, good enough, Hannah. And for the past days, I've been incredibly sleepy after lunch, a real slump. Please would you suggest how I can mitigate against this, otherwise feeling fabulous? I wonder, good enough, Hannah, if there's anything you've changed in the last few days, I think. Yeah, in the past few days, feeling sleepy after lunch. Is there anything you changed? Do keep a food diary, because that can really, really help. So write down exactly what you have for breakfast, lunch, supper, and any symptoms, how you feel. Let me know how you get on. There will be a clue and it will probably come to light with your food diary, but please let us know. Sorry not to be more helpful at this point, but let me know and I will give you all the help that I possibly can. And so glad that you're feeling fabulous. That's wonderful. HBD Pippi in phase 3. Don't suffer with the sugar monster. Good. I have homemade ice cream treat nights. I don't have any adverse effects. Is this okay? Yes, it is, HBD Pippi. That's great. And well done for keeping an eye open or keeping your feelers out for any negative effects from the ice cream. So yes, that's fine. Enjoy it. That's the main thing with the treat meal. Make sure that you really, really enjoy it. And Pandemonium 2396. I recommended the diet to a friend, but she's very depressed and she's really struggling with low mood, energy, with the reduced carbs. I'm very sorry to hear that, and I wonder if she's on any medication. Let us know about that. If she's not, 5-HTP can really help. It's naturally boost serotonin levels. But also remind her that it's a temporary setback, and soon that she will be feeling so much better, and she'll be so glad that she did this. And getting rid of the carbs or reducing the carbs is so worth it. Remember that we're not carb free because we're still eating vegetables, which are carbs. We're still eating a bit of fruit, or at least our apple, which is also carb. We're just not eating the grains. So things like oats, which we just talked about, and wheat and buckwheat and all those gluten-free grains as well. And it just does take a little while to reset. We've gone cold turkey on so many different things. And it's not surprising, honestly, that she's feeling low mood. Because even people who aren't actually depressed are also experience the same. So I hope she does really well, and let us know. And thank you for your question. And it looks like there's one more question in there. The Cotswold Caterer. Hello, I'm on phase 2, day 6. Well done, you. If you have more protein or vegetables than stated, will this affect weight loss? Yes, it will. Be really, really, really strict about it. Follow it to the letter. You want the best possible results, and that is the best way to get the best results, is to follow it to the letter. Don't think to yourself, well, I'm a bit peckish, so I'll have a few more veg, or I'll have a bit more protein. And it's very important to keep the ratio of the protein and the veg as in the book, the same as is in the book. So thank you for that question too. And day 6, phase 2, you're motoring through it. Be prepared, possibly 7, 8 or 9 might feel particularly hard, but just stick to it, stick with your guns, and you'll get through it. Debbie CHBD, been struggling with filling vegetables for phase 2. I've had more avocado than I usually have, but I've broken out in mouth ulcers, which I haven't had for ages. I'm so sorry. I think this is due to histamine intolerance. Yeah, no, I'm really sorry about that. So if you've got histamine intolerance, you know the vegetables that you need to steer clear of or to avoid. But really focus on eating slowly. That makes a massive difference. I know it probably sounds a bit patronizing, but eating slowly, because it takes about 20 minutes for the brain to register that the stomach's got enough food in it and to stop us feeling hungry. So I hope that will help, and really chew your food as well as you possibly can. And let us know how you get on. When you take whey protein, going back to gym, or would a vegan protein be better? I take it you're in phase 4 because you're going back to the gym. Yes, you can use whey protein. It doesn't suit all of us, but yes, absolutely. But not if you're still in phase 3. Remember that gym, especially intense exercise, and HBD are mutually exclusive. We can't do both. We have to choose one or the other. Supplements do you recommend in phase 1 and 2? So we did 2 supplement lives. Look back onto my grid and you'll find them there, and I hope they're useful for you. Remember, you don't need to take any supplements on HBD, but lots of people do take them, including me. And so I hope those 2 lives will be helpful for you. And anybody else here? Do you recommend peptides? I put them in my coffee before HBD. No, just stick to HBD. Keep it as simple as possible, and then once you're back in phase 4, you might consider adding things like that back in. Thanks for your question. Wendy Wu Harris, I'm in 2nd week of phase 3. I've lost sugar cravings completely. Woohoo! So far I lost 11 pounds, 5 pounds to go to my target, but loving having all my clothes fit so well. Thank you so much, Wendy, for sharing that. That's really a really joyful message to read. And do go to Troubleshooting Phase 3 in the second edition of the book, because you won't want to lose more than that £5, about how to maintain your weight while still staying in Phase 3 for the full 10 weeks. So thank you. Victoria's Gentle Life, so proud of you. And Sober Dave, absolutely fantastic. Really, really good. And thank you so much for sharing and for your putting up those stories. It's very, very kind of you and very generous. I really appreciate it. Yeah, mutually exclusive until Phase 4, that's exercise. So in Phase 3, can we do short weight workouts? You really want to do as little as possible other than walking in Phase 3. Reread the book, the phase, I think it's the Rule 5 in the book, to remind yourself about why. So it's really a question of deciding what's more important to you. Reaching the weight you want to reach, or forgetting about that and carrying on with the exercise. I'm sorry, I know that sounds harsh, but it really does come down to that. Waving at a few people here. Can you please recommend USA Epsoms? Well, funny enough, I haven't looked at Epsoms here, but as long as it says pharmaceutical grade, magnesium sulfate, you should be all right. HBD Donna, can I continue to add collagen supplements? Yep, that was also covered in the live, and you might want to rethink your collagen supplements, but I'll say no more on that and leave you that rather annoying teaser. As long as you're having your coffee with food, yes, and as long as it's unflavoured and unsweetened. Sober Dave and Victoria's Gentle Life, they are the cutest and they are the best, and they have done so brilliantly well. So follow Sober Dave and Victoria's Gentle Life to know what we're talking about, to find out what we're talking about. Mowing the lawn and gardening is okay as well as walking. That's Jane. Yes, it is, as long as you don't get out of breath, no panting. So you don't go at breakneck speed. Take it easy, okay? Really, really important. Victoria's Gentle Life says we're on cloud 9 still. Thank you so much for helping us achieve such amazing weight loss. Well, thank you to you guys for doing it, and thank you, as I said, for sharing with people. It's really, really helpful. Really lovely of you. Really appreciate it. Katie Cook, I'm in Phase 3, second week. Well done you. Lost about 14 pounds so far, but haven't lost any in the last 2 weeks. So again, have a look in Troubleshooting Phase 3, but know that it is normal. It can be quite disappointing, I know, when weight loss stalls, but it's completely normal. So please don't worry about it. Just keep doing what you're doing, and do look at the checklist just to make sure you're doing all the right things in Troubleshooting Phase 3. Are you allowed black decaf coffee in between meals? No. Maybe it's that, Katie. Could be that. Because some of us are quite sensitive to caffeine, and it can raise our blood sugar. It puts us into fight or flight. So just water between meals. And I think that's it. Debbie C. HBD in Phase 2, but struggling with mouse ulcers. Yes, you said that's so horrible. I'm so sorry. Can you recommend any supplements to help? Well, vitamin C, weirdly enough, is a natural antihistamine, as is quercetin. So those two things are definitely worth trying. I'm so sorry, Debbie, and hope you feel better soon. HBD New Jilly Phase 3 Week 13, as haven't got to goal weight and had a few stalls. This gang has really helped me get over the hard weeks. This is the most amazing gang, isn't it? We're all different, so try hard not to compare your weight loss to others too much. Thank you, HBD New Jilly. Really, really important points there. Yeah, really important. Let's not compare ourselves to other people or how other people are doing. Let's just keep doing what we're doing and know that we keep putting one foot in front of the other, we will get there. Hi, I'm in Phase 4 hair loss shedding. I've been on beta and HCl for 2.5, but it hasn't helped. 2.5, is that months or weeks, or let me know. It does happen sometimes. Thankfully it's very rare, because we do detox through our scalp, which is why we can experience hair loss. So keep taking, I hope it's the Viridian beta and HCl, and I hope that you're taking 2 capsules per meal. Let us know. And there we are. And thank you so much for joining, and thanks. Bye.